Can you imagine how our world would look without our morning cup of joe? I don't know if you like coffee, but I sure do love my morning cup of coffee. Did you know that pollinators such as hummingbirds and bees are responsible for ensuring you have that morning shot of caffeine? Not a fan of coffee? Well, imagine the world without watermelon, strawberries, or even chocolate. In this speech today, I'll help you understand the importance of pollinators and how they have the effect on our daily crops. We will discuss the importance of protecting the pollinators for our food supply, as well as how they pollinate between 75 and 95% of all flowering plants on Earth. I'll also help you understand how to help the pollinators survive and thrive. Understanding the critical role of pollinators in producing fruits, vegetables, and nuts enables us to realize the necessity of protecting the pollinators and promoting pollinators' homes. What are pollinators, you might be asking? Well, let's dig a little deeper into what a pollinator is and what species you're helping help you. According to Trees Forever, pollinators work by one pollinator focusing on a certain flower, collecting nectar from that flower. The back leg has a pocket, and that pocket on that leg may rub up against that reproductive organ of that male flower. And then the pollinator will go to the next flower of that same species, and then it'll collect nectar from that flower, and that reproductive grain from that male flower on that leg may rub up against the reproductive organ of that female flower. Pollinators come in many species. Birds such as hummingbirds and swifts. Insects such as blister beetle, conchinellid beetle, bumblebees, chafer beetles, dipteran fly, wasp, greenfly, honeybees, soldier beetle, bumblebee, and butterfly. Honeybees are the most popular and well-known bees, and mainly any other kind of bee. Birds can also fall into the pollinator family. Birds are important to pollinating wildflower pollination. In the continental United States, hummingbirds are key to wildflower pollination. In other areas, wild honey creepers live in Hawaii, and honey eaters, which live in Australia, are important pollinators. Pollinators, which come in all species, are hard workers that play an important role in our food supply chain. Honeybees and native bees and flies delivers billions of dollars worth of in economic value. Between $235 and $577 billion worth of annual global food production, and relies on their contribution. Managed honeybees are important pollinators to our economies. These hyper-efficient insects can pollinate virtually any crop. Almonds, for example, almost depend on honeybees entirely. Pollinators are endangered because of this in turn poses a threat to a variety of plants that are critical to human well-being and livelihoods. Due to habitat loss, due to weather changes, intensive farming practices, and use of and excessive use of agrochemicals such as pesticides. Air pollution is also thought to be a problem to bees. Air pollutants interact with the scent molecules that are given off by the plant, which the bees need to locate the food. The mixed signals interfere with the bee and makes them slower and less efficient at pollination. A vast majority of pollinators are wild. Mass breeding and large-scale transport poses a risk because of transmission of pathogens and parasites during the transit. According to IPBES report, better regulation of bee trade due to honeybees dying during transport. And they don't want the bees to die. They want to have the bees successfully get over to where they're transported to. Help save the pollinators. Here are some ways that you can help the pollinators. Plant nectar-bearing flowers. Buy honey and other hive products from your local beekeeper. Raise awareness to children and teens about honeybees and pollinators. Set up a pollinator farm on your balcony, porch, or garden, whichever one. Use pesticides that do not harm bees and spray in windless weather. Pollinators are crucial. Pollinators pollinate our food sources. Many different types of species we depend upon in our food system chain because they make up some of our food and products for we Americans. Populations of pollinators are declining rapidly. Management and replanting of native food sources to help the pollinators regain on food producing and product producing. We as consumers and stewards of the land, we must make sure that we begin to plant resources back for the pollinators so they can keep on making food and products for us.